Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the invisible architecture that runs our daily lives. I'm talking about public goods, everything from lighthouses to the internet, the stuff we as a society have decided is just too important to leave to chance.
So what do lighthouses, GPS, and clean air have in common? It's a great question, right? They seem totally random, but they are all part of this huge, often invisible network of public goods. These are the shared systems that our entire modern world is built on, and they were built piece by piece over centuries.
Okay, so to really get this whole story, we need to wrap our heads around a pretty simple idea from economics, the public good. So what does that even mean? Well, it's basically something that anyone can use, and just because you're using it, it doesn't stop me from using it too. A classic example is a lighthouse beam or a radio signal, right? They're just there for everyone, all at the same time. This one idea is the key to everything we're about to explore.
All right, let's jump in our time machine. We're going way back to the early days of the United States. And you gotta picture this. It was a huge, sprawling country and really disconnected. The big challenge, the monumental challenge, was how do you turn all these isolated towns and vast distances into a single nation?
So back then, the focus was all about physical stuff. Things you could touch and see. Lighthouses were popping up to guide ships safely into harbors. Canals were being dug to create brand new trade routes, kind of like arteries for the country. Then you had land-grant colleges spreading knowledge all over the continent. Even things like public fire departments and sanitation systems, they were making these new, growing cities actually livable. These were, quite literally, the building blocks of a connected society.
But here's the thing. It wasn't just about concrete and steel. Not at all. Think about the Postal Service. Making it universal meant information could finally get everywhere, tying the country together. Public libraries and schools, that's creating a shared brain for the nation, a common ground of knowledge. And the railroads, get this, even though they were privately owned, the government subsidized them like crazy because everyone knew they were absolutely essential. So yeah, this was way bigger than just moving stuff around. This was about building a nation from the ground up. Okay, so as we flip the calendar into the 20th century, something really big starts to shift. The whole idea of what a public good even is, well, it starts to change dramatically. It's not just about connecting places anymore. Now it's about protecting people, safeguarding the well-being of everybody.
And this change really gets supercharged by two massive events, the Great Depression and World War II. In that crucible, America went on this unbelievable building spree, not just public works, but social programs too. Sure, it was a reaction to crisis, but boy, did it completely reshape what people thought the government should do for generations to come.
And what's just incredible here is the sheer range of what we started calling a public good. You've got Social Security, suddenly there's a social safety net. You have these massive, jaw-dropping projects like the Hoover Dam powering whole regions. The sky itself becomes a public space with the creation of air traffic control. And then, of course, the big ones, the interstate highway system and Medicare, completely changing how we think about getting around and staying healthy as a country.
Now this is where it gets really interesting, because you can see history kind of repeating itself. Check this out. Back in the 30s, the Rural Electrification Act was pushed forward with what was then a pretty radical idea. Electricity isn't a luxury, it's an essential utility. Every single home should have it. Fast forward to today, and what are we talking about? High-speed internet. It's the exact same conversation. The tech is different, obviously, but that core idea of universal access, it just keeps coming back.
All right, let's keep moving. As we get into the later part of the 20th century, the idea of infrastructure takes another giant leap. We're moving beyond the physical world now and into two new realms, the health of our planet and this brand new thing called the digital frontier.
So two really powerful ideas started to take hold. The first was this wake-up call that our environment, the air we breathe, the water we drink, wasn't infinite. It was a fragile, shared resource, a public good that we had to protect. And the second big idea, that having access to information was becoming just as important as having access to a highway.
And this new way of thinking wasn't just talk. It led to some huge, landmark actions. The Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, was created, which basically made it official. The government's job was to be the guardian of our environment. And then you get programs like the Superfund, designed to clean up the absolute worst toxic messes, because a safe environment was now seen as a right, a public good for everyone.
And when you talk about the digital side of things, there's no better story than the internet itself. I mean, it didn't just pop into existence, right? It started as a top-secret military project called ARPANET. Then it morphed into a network for universities and researchers. And then
And this is the crucial part. A deliberate choice was made to open it up to everybody, creating the wild, amazing, global town square that we all live in today.
And you know what? It's the exact same playbook with GPS. The Global Positioning System started as this super expensive, military-only satellite network. But then, in the 1980s, someone made the game-changing decision to just open it up, for free, for the whole world. And that one decision unleashed this incredible wave of innovation. I mean, think about it. Maps on your phone, ride-sharing, food delivery, so much of our daily life relies on that gift.
So all of that brings us right up to today. And no surprise, the challenges and the opportunities have shifted again. So what are the essential public goods that we're talking about, building, and arguing over right now? Well, it's pretty clear the focus is on two big things: securing our digital lives and trying to build a sustainable future.
Today's infrastructure is just incredibly complex. It's about protecting us online with national cybersecurity. It's about making sure crucial data on our climate and weather is free and open so we can all see what's coming. And yeah, it's about building out the next generation of physical stuff, like green energy grids and networks of EV chargers, which are basically the new interstate highway system for the 21st century.
So when you step back and you look at this whole journey, this long arc of history, a really powerful story starts to emerge, doesn't it? We started out by trying to conquer physical distance. Then we moved on to creating social and health security. And now, here we are, building the digital and environmental foundations for whatever comes next.
If this history teaches us anything, it's that our idea of what's essential is always changing. It's not some fixed list written in stone. Which, of course, leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? When you look at the challenges coming our way, things like AI or genetic engineering, what are we going to decide is the next essential public good? The next thing that we believe everyone deserves access to?